Hello, I'm Ron Turner. I'm using XpressRules, an authoring tool that lets me automatically create XACML access policies using near natural language. This will be a round trip where we begin with structured English, visualize how the parts fit, look at an XML intermediate file, XACML 3.0, and then at structured English reconstructed from the XACML. Let's get started. In order to create a language that fits the domain of health information, we're using SBVR. There's the spell out of the acronym. It's commonly pronounced SBeaver, and it's used to create languages specifically for business rules, and in our case, for access policies. Here's a full layout of our near natural language that we've created. It consists of terms, facts about the terms called fact types, and then rules that we create specifically to fit our environment. In order to get a more intuitive view of how an SBeaver policy behaves, let's drop that plain text of the entire access policy into an SBeaver editing tool. Notice everything is color-coded. Here are the terms, here are fact types which relate those terms, and here are rules that we create based on those fact types. In addition, we have the ability to visualize possible relationships and consequences of applying these policies, noting the relationships between the players, activities between players and objects, and the relationships that represent possible consequences down the road as we apply these policies. Well, let's go back to the plain text, grab the rules that we have created with our SBeaver near natural language, copy that into a plain text editor as text that XpressRules is going to consume. We'll use the editor to take out the word rule because XpressRules doesn't need that. Save that file, save the text, and then it's ready for us to call XpressRules for it to consume this set of 7 rules and then to create an intermediate XML file, the XACML file, and then to recreate on the fly structured English for us to examine. So we will take the newly generated files, there are 4 of them here, the XML, the XACML file, and the round-trip text. Line those up by most recently created, and we're opening now the XML file. We're using here XML Spy, a popular XML editor that allows us to inspect now the XML representation for the set of 7 rules. This is well formed, can be validated against a schema, and this XML file can be useful for any number of purposes that developers might want to use. Here then, next is the XACML file itself. And notice that XpressRules has gathered the 7 rules and created a policy, a XACML 3.0 policy, with Rule A, Rule B, and so on through Rule G. It's a long file, not the kind of coding that even developers like to attack, and certainly nothing that management level policy officers should attempt to create by hand. Again, it's well formed and should be validated against the official OASIS schema. Most importantly, we just had created for us the original 7 rules. This time XpressRules itself recreated those. So here are the original set of 7, there's the recreated version. Auditors like this because now they can look at the original set, compare that with what comes out directly decompiled from XACML 3.0, and do an accurate comparison and reconciliation to be sure. So we've done our round trip with seeing structured English, visualizing the pieces and parts, the intermediate XML file, the XACML 3.0, and most importantly, the reconstructed structured English that comes out at the end.